In this tutorial, we'll highlight some best practices and strategies for content management across multiple screens. If you're not familiar with the process of pairing screens, we recommend first watching the Getting Started with OptiSigns video available in the OptiSigns 101 playlist on YouTube. For our example, we're going to pair 3 screens that will be deployed in a retail environment for both external and internal communications. Let's get started. The first thing we recommend doing before pairing multiple screens is to create folders to organize your screens. You do not have to do it in this order, and you can always go back and move your screens to whichever folder you need. Organizing your screens and folders also allows you to assign role permissions to grant or restrict edit access to screens in that folder. More on that in a little bit. From the Screens tab in the OptiSigns web portal, click Add Folder. We'll name the first folder General Retail Store. Now let's add a second folder called Corporate Office. With our folders created, I'll click into the Corporate Office folder and pair my first screen. I'll type in the pairing code for a screen that will display KPI dashboards for internal stakeholders. Once I've typed in my pairing code, I'll click Pair. I'll name this screen KPI Dashboard Number 1. I'll go ahead and save this without assigning content right now so that I can continue setting up all my screens. Now my KPI dashboard screen is set up and ready for content in my Corporate Office folder. We'll exit out of the Corporate Office folder by clicking Home. Now I'll click into my General Retail Store folder to add my next screen. I'll click Add Screen again and enter the pairing code for the screen that will be displayed to customers at checkout. I'll name this screen Register 1 and save. While still in the General Retail Store folder, I'll add my third screen, which will be an on-location internal screen for back-of-house staff. Enter my pairing code, click Pair, name it back-of-house screen, and save. Now that my retail screens are created, I'll exit out of the General Retail Store folder by again clicking Home. You can also create subfolders or folders within folders for extra levels of organization. However, we won't cover that here. Let's briefly look at moving screens between folders as well as deleting screens. In the event you need to move a screen to another folder, from the Screens page, find the screen you need to move, click the 3 dots, select Move, and pick the folder you need to move it to. I'll move this test screen to the Corporate Office folder. I can now navigate to the Corporate Office folder and see this test screen has been moved. Should you need to delete a screen, click the 3 dots again, select Remove, and then type Delete in all caps to confirm you want to remove the screen. This will unpair the screen from your account and will delete any tags or schedules associated with it. To add the screen back to your account, you'll need to repeat the pairing process. The next thing we'll do is add role or team permissions. Permissions grant or restrict the ability to edit the screens contained in that folder. I'll set permissions first for the General Retail Store folder by clicking the 3 dots on that folder and selecting Change Permissions. Here you can create a team or select from a pre-made team. Teams refer to users that share the same level of permissions. For this example, I'll select a team I've already created called General Retail Store. There are 2 options for permissions, View and Edit. View allows team members to just view the content assigned to a screen. Edit allows team members the ability to make changes. I'll allow both edit and view access, which will allow the screens in this folder to be viewed and edited by associates assigned to the General Retail Store team. You should assign team permissions based on your business's needs. For the Corporate Office screens, I'll select a team I've already created called Corporate Internal Office, which will have view and edit permissions for the corporate screens. Let's briefly explain the concepts of permission hierarchy within accounts. The team permissions I've created have been through the default account. You can also set permissions within each team. The reason we've set permissions using the default account, and why we recommend you do as well, is because this allows high-level users easier visibility of permissions across the screens and content. Setting screen permissions inside each team account can limit visibility and can make troubleshooting content issues more challenging. Now that we have our team permissions assigned, let's set up some screen tags. Tags make deploying content across all your screens really easy by allowing you to target a tag that's assigned to multiple screens. We'll go back to our Corporate Office folder so I can add a tag to my KPI dashboard screen. I'll click in the Tags field and create some tags. Let's create a tag for Corporate, and another for KPI. Now, anytime I want to push content to screens, I can target any of these tags and the content will be pushed to all screens with these tags. Let's go into our retail screens and I'll add tags here as well. For our screen located at the register, I'll add a tag for retail and one for front of store. For my back of house screen, I'll add the retail tag here as well, but create another one for back of store. Now we have tags that allow us to target general content for all of our screens in our retail store, along with tags that allow us to specifically target content to customers at the register and employees in the back. Let's show this concept in action. I'll go to the Files and Assets tab. I'll choose an asset I want to push to screens. Instead of targeting each screen I want to push to, I'll target by tags. Now I have the option of selecting tags, which will then deploy this content to screens with these tags. You can then preview which screens will display the content we've chosen. For this example, you can see this content will be displayed to our retail screens, which will display at both the register and back of house screens, but will not be displayed on my KPI dashboard. Now that my screens, folders, permissions, and tags are set up, let's dive a little deeper into pushing content to screens. Let's go back to our Files and Assets tab. We'll select an asset, click the three dots, and push to screen. We'll target the KPI dashboard screen. But this time, I want to schedule when my content gets pushed to the screen. So I'll select Schedule Changes. By default, the schedule start time will be 1 hour from the current time. I can set when I want it to go live, when it expires, and what happens after it expires. I can choose between showing the last played content or stop playing. I'll click Schedule. Now I can go to my screens page, check out my KPI dashboard screen, and see that I have content assigned to the screen and when that content will expire. If you edit screen, you can cancel the scheduled content right from the screen menu. I'll go back to my assets and create another type of content schedule, a temporary takeover. A temporary takeover is when you want a content to start immediately and preempt any other content for a limited time. We'll select an asset, click the three dots, and push to screen. You can choose between the selected durations or a custom time. In summary, schedule changes for a defined date and time schedule, temp takeover for an immediate start for a limited time period. Both scheduling options work with targeting screens and tags. As an example, let's target the corporate tag. Set a takeover for 30 minutes and click Set. Now if I go back to my KPI screen with the corporate tag, it will show that there's a temporary takeover active. You can also schedule content directly from the screen menu. Just click Edit on the screen, click Change, select a new asset, and then click Schedule. Now I can schedule this asset to go live and expire just like we did in the Assets screen. I'll save, and now you can see that the screen menu still shows my current takeover as well as the new scheduled content that will begin during the period I selected. The last feature within screen management we'll examine is Operational Schedule. Operational schedules allow you to set times when you want your screens to power on and off, and control settings like volume or brightness of your screen. This feature is available for OptiSigns users who are using an OptiSigns player with a TV or monitor that supports HDMI CEC and have an OptiSigns Pro Plus subscription plan. Let's set up an operational schedule for the screen at the register. I'll click Edit and expand the operational schedule field. This screen is currently set to turn on at 4 a.m. every day and off at 11:59 p.m. The menu allows you to adjust the times and days of the week the schedule repeats. For this schedule, I've chosen to have the screen turn on at 1:58 a.m. and turn off at 4 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. If you need a more nuanced schedule that requires different times for different days, you can choose Advanced Scheduling. I can click and drag in the schedule to create a time block. For this block, I'll create a schedule from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., have it set for daily, and give it a name. When I click Save, you'll see the blocks populate across my weekly schedule. To edit a block, I can just click back in and make whatever changes I need. Let's change this to repeat every weekend. One of the most powerful features of advanced scheduling is the ability to set multiple schedules within each day. In the repeat field, we can select custom and set specific start and expiration dates or number of occurrences for each schedule block. I'll save this as is, and now I have a schedule saved that will power on my screen on Saturdays at 2 a.m., off at 4 a.m., and then back on again from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Once I'm satisfied with my schedule, I'll click Apply. You can see that the basic editor is now gone, and the operational schedule shows it's using the new schedule we just created. I'll save, and now the screen located near the register will turn on and off based on the operational schedule. Keep in mind, if your operational schedule is on, but your device does not support HDMI CEC, your screen will just go black. The device will be on, but no content will be displayed. And that's it for this walkthrough of managing your screens. If you'd like to learn more about the OptiSigns platform, we encourage you to refer to other videos on YouTube or reach out to our customer success team with any questions.